Hey! Okay, so I'm extremely behind on silent film critiques. Oh my heavens. I was looking through my notes and all of a sudden realized I haven't done a critique yet this month. How did that happen? So, I am a huge Mickey Rooney fan, and I'm actually trying to find, I'm pretty sure he did a silent film with Louise Brooks. I could be wrong, like usual. It could be that it was a talkie film, and I know that she did a film with Buster Keaton. I hope to critique that one, but I'm trying to space out my the Buster Keaton films. I've only done one Louise Brooks film, which surprises me, so I need to do more of her. But Mickey Rooney, I you know, for as talented as he was, it seems like he's a very overlooked actor. He Walt Disney, he did quite a bit for Walt Disney. He showed up in quite a few of the cartoons. Walt Disney was very impressed with him. When he was a very young man, when Mickey was a young boy, actually, he was on Broadway, I think. I know that there was a show that was about Broadway or something, Broadway to Hollywood or something like that. And the tap routine that he did was really amazing for a young man that age. Well, anyway, Walt Disney animated him into I think it was like a kind of a series with Donald Duck. It's kind of too bad that these days people just can't laugh at themselves, because there was a time when the classic Hollywood celebrities wanted, like Chuck Jones and Walt Disney and a lot of these others, to put them in their cartoons and films. And for some reason now it's like, if you do that, you don't have copyright to my face. And it's like, lighten up. Just like when you watch Wind in the Willows, I think I've said that the narrator is Basil Rathbone. Well, my mom and I were talking. She loves that one. That's her favorite cartoon. And but Ratty is basically the characteristics of Basil Rathbone. And the narrator for that, Casey at the Bat, seems like there's one of the characters in there that is animated to be like him. I think it's the announcer in there. And then of course Legend of Sleepy Hollow, Ichabod Crane looks exactly like, with the big ears and everything, is Bing Crosby. But anyway, yeah, there are some cartoons with Donald Duck and Mickey Rooney. He didn't just do, like, he's in the old Pete's Dragon, 1977 Pete's Dragon. And then, of course, I don't think, what's that? Oh gosh, it's being stubborn. Night at the Museum, he's one of the older fellows with Dick Van Dyke. And, so anyway, where I'm going with this, in the 20s, there was a film series, much like the Alice series that I talked about. When I talked about one, I'm going to do the whole series. I'm going to talk about the entire series instead of focusing on one, because I watched one. I tried to watch another one, and unfortunately the person who uploaded it put like all kinds of tags on it, so you didn't really see the film, you saw the tags. Unfortunately. And so basically these this series, they're short films, obviously, and most obvious thing I could say, they ran from 1927 to 1934, and so I don't know that there would be talkies, but we'll see, because I didn't really read a lot of this. They were produced by Larry Darmore. Now there's Dorothy Lamour. This is Darmore, so, and if I'm saying it wrong, I'm sorry. The series was notable for essentially launching the careers of Mickey Rooney and Billy Barty. So it's the Mickey McGuire series. I don't know if that's like his middle name or something. Or maybe Mickey Rooney is a professional name. Born Joseph Ewell Jr., so Mickey Rooney is a professional name. Yeah, it says other names: Michael McGuire, Michael Rooney. So possibly they just decided to use, that must be, wait a minute, let me go back before I get ahead of myself like I tend to do now. Billy Barty, American actor. In adult life, he stood 3 feet 9 inches. Okay, because of dwarfism. He was often cast in movies opposite taller performers for comic effect. He specialized in outspoken or wise-cracking characters. During the 50s, he became a television star. Let's see. What other films was he in that we might know? The 1935 Midsummer Night's Dream with Cagney. I'm pretty sure that's the one with, yeah, Cagney. And Mickey Rooney. Well, there you go. It's funny how a lot of people will work with other people. You know, it seems like they just can't get away from each other. He was in Rescuers Down Under. Who did he play? Bait Mouse. I don't remember who that is. But he was that voice. That's funny. In Legend, he was Screwball. So if you're a big Legend fan, and I am, I love that movie. Haven't seen it in a long time. I need to add that to my collection. Why don't I have it? Oh, he was in Bride of Frankenstein. It says as Baby, but he's uncredited, so. In the 1978 Lord of the Rings rotoscope footage, he's Bilbo Baggins and Samwise Gamgee. Which one is that? It'll show. Okay, it's that animated one that you never know. It's just, you don't know if it's the animated or they did a live action. Of course, they haven't done very many of Lord of the Rings. They've done quite a few of Narnia, so just when you think that there isn't that many, all of a sudden they're like, yeah, and there's this version and that version. Like, oh, okay. So there is. He's in Under the Rainbow. If you've never seen Under the Rainbow, it's got Carrie Fisher in it. It pretty much, Chevy Chase is in it as well. He plays Otto. I was wondering if he was in... Yeah, he's... Okay. He's Willow. In Willow, he's the High Alduin. I was wondering if that was him. Okay. Alright. Yeah, so if you've ever seen Willow... No kidding. Well, I learned something today. I mean, I knew the name, but for him to be in this film series, that's kind of cool. So, because I'm a fan of him. So anyway, we're going to move on now. So, yeah, this series kicked off it's known for kicking off the career of Mickey Rooney and Billy Barty. Basically, and it says here that the series was based off of Fontaine Fox's comic strip series, which is known as Toonerville Trolley. Let's see. Or the Toonerville Trolley that meets all the trains. Oh, that sounds like fun. It was a popular newspaper cartoon feature by Fontaine Fox, which ran from 1908 to 1955 in the Chicago Post, and by 1913 it was syndicated nationally by the Wheeler Syndicate. Okay. Characters. I was kind of hoping they would tell me. It's not really telling me anything. The single panel gag cartoon with longer form comics on Sunday was a daily look at Toonerville, situated in what are now called the suburbs. Central to the strip was the rickety little trolley called the Toonerville Trolley, the metal trains, driven in a frenzy by the grizzly old skipper. Okay, so I was wondering if Mickey McGuire was in the strip, and that's why they decided to use the name. But maybe they'll say here, 1925, Fox placed a newspaper ad for a dark-haired child to play the role of Mickey McGuire in a series of short film. Well, okay, helps to read further. This ad attracted the attention of Mrs. Nell Ewell, who, of course, recently separated wife of vaudevillian Joseph Ewell. And that explains why he was so talented. It's funny how many of those classic Hollywood stars they began their career in vaudeville. I mean, Fred Astaire and his sister were vaudeville. They started in vaudeville. Bob Hope started in vaudeville. Roscoe Arbuckle started in vaudeville. Buster Keaton started in vaudeville. Even, Mickey Rooney, his dad was in vaudeville, so I'm pretty sure he was in vaudeville a little bit, or had the experience. Judy Garland would talk a lot about her experience in vaudeville, so she had some vaudeville, and she and Mickey did quite a few movies together. Oh wow, so she didn't have money to dye her son's hair. He had that blonde hair. She took her son to the audition after applying burnt cork to his scalp. Oh wow. Got the role and became Mickey for 78 of the comedies. starting with Mickey's survey. Okay. He briefly became Mickey McGuire legally in order to trump an attempted copyright lawsuit. If it were his legal name, the film producer did not owe the comic strip writers royalties. Okay. Loopholes. Mother also changed her surname to McGuire in an attempt to bolster the argument, but the film producers lost. Oh dear. Rooney later. Okay, so a lot of other things here. Litigation settlement awarded damages to the owners of the cartoon character, as well as compelled the 12-year-old actor to refrain from calling himself by the name Mickey McGuire on and off set. Rooney later claimed that during his Mickey McGuire days, he met cartoonist Walt Disney at the Warner Brothers studio, and that Disney was inspired to name Mickey Mouse after him. Although Disney always said that he had changed the name from Mortimer Mouse to Mickey Mouse on the suggestion of his wife. I guess we'll never know. But that is funny. Oh. So, like I said, I watched one of them because, yeah, since I went off track. I watched one of them, and it's saying here, I've talked about Our Gang, which is, of course, Little Rascals, and it has a big flavor of that. So, I don't know if they swiped. I mean, I enjoy Little Rascals and Our Gang and that sort of thing. You know, I grew up watching them. Even the old one, I saw the movie in the theaters back in the 90s and everything. I thoroughly enjoy it. I don't know that it's really a generation thing. Maybe it is. There are certain things that you can do over and over and over again, and it's a big generation thing and no big deal. But is Ben-Hur really that? I mean, after the last one, I think we can just call it quits. But little kids like to watch other little kids get into mischief. They really do. But at the same time, with Our Gang, the mischief isn't like malicious. They're just kids being kids. And so, I mean, kids like to form secret clubs. They like to get in. They like to build tree houses. They like to go up in the tree house. They like to do, boys have cooties, girls have cooties. Well, I don't know about much anymore, but, it's just that whole thing. And then when a boy gets interested in a girl, and it's like, it's like, ew. Snap out of it, man. But it's just a part of childhood. It really is. So, and that's the great thing about watching it as an adult, because you remember being like that when you were a kid. And I think that's one of the great things about watching even just the one. I wish I could have watched the other one, but again, there were a lot of tags on it. And so with these Mickey McGuire, I don't know if a lot of them are lost. I just can't find them. But I would love to watch. Let's see if it says. Okay, sadly the films are rarely shown on television opposed to Our Gang shorts. Because of this, the series is hardly remembered today. But it doesn't say, it looks like they're all there. They're just not, there's just a few that you can watch. But when you do watch, you get there's one little boy, like, everyone likes buckwheat. Well, there's a little boy in here. And he is such a character. I fell in love with him immediately. And his name is Hambone Johnson. His character name is Mickey's best friend. Hambone, or Ham for short, he's an African American boy. And it says, because of the time the series was produced, Hambone was sometimes forced to be depicted as an exaggerated African American stereotype. However, Hambone proved to have more dignity than most characters who were in this sort of role. Hambone is often taken advantage of by Mickey. However, Hambone has sometimes questioned Mickey's ways, asking him, "Why do I always have to do everything?" So, Hambone clearly has a close friendship with Mickey. Whenever Mickey feels he needs somebody to go with him for one reason or another, he almost always chooses Hambone, despite the fact that Mickey takes advantage of Hambone. He has also shown no worry for Hambone's safety. In one example, Ham is in danger and calls out for help. Mickey is quick to jump into action and save his pal. So, and he is a cute little boy. Oh my goodness. He is played by Jimmy Robinson. And he is replaced by another actor in a few of the films due to unknown absences. Okay, but they don't say very much about him. He went on to do other things after the series, but yes, I loved his character. It's just, and now I thought that there was a little girl in this, but it looks like there isn't. Maybe it was in the one that I watched. Let's see if I can find it. Let's see. 19. No, that's not it. Okay, it doesn't show it in here. But anyway, there aren't very as many as like in Our Gang. And but it has Mickey, and then it has his brother, a younger brother, and Billy is played by Billy Barty. And then there's Stinky Davis, who is the arch rival of Mickey, Tomboy Taylor, and Katrink. And he has an incredible amount of strength. But anyway, and let's see. By easily lifting heavy objects. The role was played by a few unknown actors. Mickey Rooney was absent from the series for the 1931 to 1932 season. And the actor who played Katrink was chosen to take over the role of McGuire. and another actor stepped in for Katrink. But anyway, so pretty much, if you're a big fan of the Our Gang series, you might like this. I don't know. It's one of those things where, I can't say for you. I'm not going to tell you, oh yes, you'll definitely love this, because, you can decide for yourselves. I didn't find very many on YouTube. I did try it, but the ones that I find, it does have a big flavor of, but there's just enough that it is a little different. I mean, there are similarities to the two. And I honestly can see why this would be overlooked and completely forgotten, to be quite honest, because of the fact that Little Rascals, there was just a little more charm to it. As much as I enjoyed watching this one, there were a couple things. The one that I watched, I will put it in the description for you so you can see it. Because it was Mickey's Brown Derby that I watched. And, there were certain things in it that it was funny, it was silly, it was kids being kids. But, Mickey Rooney's a big name now, but back then, nobody knew. And people were already cutting their teeth into Our Gang. And of course, when they see something that is so similar, that's something that doesn't change. I mean, when something seems close to copied, you're not really going to enjoy it. But, it was still... I still enjoyed it, because you know what? I love watching things where kids are being kids. I really do. And especially realizing that Mickey Rooney was in silent film as a little kid. That I did not know. So if you're a big Mickey Rooney fan, and even if you're not, it's at least looking into. I mean, and well, even if you like Billy Barty, the High Aldwin from Willow. Oh, I'm such a huge fan. I love all those movies. So anyway, I will put the link to the one movie that I found. Before I close this up, some of the titles, kind of like the Alice, are kind of along the same for this series. You got Mickey's Circus, Mickey's Pals, Mickey's Parade, Mickey in School, Mickey in Love, Mickey's Wild West. I kind of wish I could have found that one, but I couldn't find it. But that doesn't mean anything. It sounds like, because these just were completely forgotten, they haven't been released. I couldn't see where. Yeah, Mickey's Surprise, Mickey's Mix Up, Mickey's Mastermind. There was one that was Mickey Detective. Mickey's a Detective. Mickey's Disguises, Mickey's Holiday. So, yeah, pretty much, it doesn't look like any of... Wait. Before I close up here. In 2001, 10 of the sound shorts made their way to home video on 5 VHS tapes. Though the films were mostly unedited, there was piano music in the background of some scenes that mainly had action in them rather than dialogue. In 2006, Eighth Man restored and remastered 19 of the films and released them to DVD. The restored Eighth Man did add a musical soundtrack into the background of selected scenes. So, there you go. But again, it doesn't sound like any of them are gone. There were some of the Alice films that were lost. The Walt Disney Alice films, Alice Adventures, that were gone. They were just lost. So, but it sounds like all of these are accounted for. They're just not being released. So, and with Mickey Rooney being gone now, we lost him, I think in 2016. I keep forgetting we're in 2019, so it's like, it's April now, I should be comfortable with it, but whatever. What day is it again? So, but anyway, yeah, it sounds like all of the films, like I said, are accounted for. It's just certain ones have been released. Because again, Little Rascals was just more popular. But, I enjoy watching, I'm kind of a sucker for watching those kinds of films where it reminds me of my childhood. Being a rambunctious kid who likes to get into mischief. So I will again put the one that I watched and give you an idea of what it was. If I can find another one, I'll go ahead and put it in the description for you. And but yeah, so this is a series with Mickey Rooney and Billy Barty as well. This is a series that was based off a comic strip for the time called Toonerville Trolley. I'll put that all in the description. But this is basically what kickstarted the careers of Mickey Rooney and Billy Barty as well. And it's known as the Mickey McGuire series.